Talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Well, we've got a long way to go. I mean, the guys on defense will be the first to tell you that we just got to keep getting better. So I think the key is that they've taken that mindset. The mindset has been, let's get better. I mean, nobody was down. They didn't question the fact that they were good, and could play great defense and whatever. And I still think that there's a lot better defense in us, and they'll tell you that. So that's really nothing's changed. We just got to keep striving to get better at all the little things, every single play. There's lots of things in that last game that we can improve on, that Minnesota's going to take a look at, and they're going to try to take advantage of. So that's all we just have to do. We just got to focus on all the details of what we're doing and do it in a real, fundamentally sound, hard-working kind of way every play.
That was John Harbaugh chatting yesterday before the Ravens went out and made their first. We'll see if there are others move to be made at the deadline. It is Glenn Clark Radio, Tuesday edition of the program, and we've got a lot to do coming up in a bit. We will catch up with our friend Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer, get his thoughts on the acquisition of Dre'Mont Jones. Could there be more before 4 p.m. today? Also, later on this hour, Navy football senior snipe Brandon Chatman joins us. They took it on the chin down at North Texas. Now all they got to do is go out to Notre Dame. That's it. That's all. Easy bounce back.
Notre Dame's not even good.
We'll talk to
they lost 2 games.
Brandon Chatman about what it's going to take. They actually didn't look all that good against Boston College, but you worry that means that it was a bit of a wake-up call for them too. Later on this hour, it's not. I don't know what poll in college soccer they consider to be the official one, because Top Drawer Soccer put out their new poll yesterday, and the new number 1 team in the country is the University of Maryland.
Whoa.
Now there's another poll that comes out today that's I think it might be the official
coaches poll. Is that one?
But I don't know which one is considered the one.
So an RPI, they're second, right?
I don't know how any of this works, but they've been red hot, and their coach Sasho Cirovski is going to join us, tell us about what makes this team special. And then before we get out of here today, we'll preview Waiver-Wire Wednesday with our friend Joe Serpico, PressBox fantasy football analyst. Let him break down if there's any help to be had, and I don't know if there is this week. Tucker Kraft owners need a hug.
Parker Washington,
I think a lot of people picked him up last week when Travis Hunter got hurt, but if he's available, can he be a help? We'll talk about it with Joe Serpico. So, yeah, John Harbaugh meets the media yesterday, and it's awkward timing. I have said for some time that, you should be doing the John Harbaugh press conference at 4:30 on Tuesday during trade deadline week. It's a weird time because almost quickly some of it is expired or just lacks the context of, the play. And I get it. He's meeting with the media on Wednesday, so you'll hear from him then. The Ravens make a trade. They send a conditional 5th-round pick to the Tennessee Titans in exchange for Dre'Mont Jones. This was a practical possibility. When we talked about edge rushers, and we said the guys that you want to be available just aren't available. You're not getting Max Crosby. You're not getting Myles Garrett. Now, none of this gives the Ravens a pass for what they did. Some people read this the wrong way, when I say, well, you can't have those guys. I'm not saying that it's okay that the Ravens don't have outstanding edge rushers. I'm saying that you can't You can't get one of those guys now. This was a practical move that could be made because it's Dre'Mont Jones and because you find yourself saying, like, oh, okay, which is the appropriate way to feel. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. The two things that stand out about Dre'Mont Jones are he's been really good for the last month, or at least really productive for the last month. And for most of his career, he's been kind of a guy. Here, Griffin is showing you a nice sack that he had. Or this is, who put this together? I guess
This would be Eagles fan Eric,
Okay, Eagles fan Eric.
courtesy of NFL Pro.
Yeah, clearly. It put together some highlights of Dre'Mont Jones. And, you know, he functional football player. Has some moves, good things. He has at least one sack in each of his last 4 games. 4.5 total over the last 4 games. Now, to be fair, those are all of the sacks that he has for the year. But still, if this is him finding his best version of himself, and it translates to the Ravens, and he's getting a sack a game the rest of the season, it's going to look back and say, this was a hell of a move. Can you count on that? You definitely can't count on it, but you hope that he has that to offer. And the Ravens needed to do something, and this is at least something. And it speaks to the reality of what the market was. If you want to debate whether or not they, you should have given up a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Phillips. And again, we don't even know. As I always say, I don't know if the Eagles were able to make that trade because the Dolphins didn't say, hey, for the Ravens, it's going to be a 2nd-round pick.
AFC,
because
NFC
you're in the AFC. And because we know Jalen Phillips isn't the free agent at the end of the year. And so while most of us don't think the Dolphins are going to be in a place to compete next year either, because they're going to need a new GM, probably a new head coach, probably a new quarterback, and just about everything.
Well, maybe just new GM, or they make Mike McDaniel GM, and
Well, yeah, maybe that's what they're going to do.
they're actually in really good shape.
What about the quarterback?
Well, he'll bring him back too.
You said really good shape.
He threw 4 touchdowns before he faced that vaunted Ravens.
Right,
defense.
I understand.
That
That's
just got
vaunted.
better.
That's right. Just got better. So this is the move to address edge rush. Is there another move coming? Is there a defensive tackle? Is there an offensive lineman? They've been connected to cornerback, as we mentioned yesterday by Diana Rossini from The Athletic. We'll find out. 5 hours from now, we'll know that answer. We might find out in the next 5 minutes. But we'll know in 5 hours for sure if there are any more moves coming. I have no sense of the likelihood of that. And I would say that the public rumblings have not been loud about the top-notch players that we've wondered at the defensive tackle position. The Lawrences, the Simmons, the Williams, the big sexy names at defensive tackle. It's not a sexy position, but at the position, those are the sexy names. There has not been a lot of rumblings about those guys in the last 24 hours. Calais Campbell had himself a nice night last night. Couple of sacks. The former president of the United States said, "Good God, man," when he walked up for the coin toss, which is pretty great. I don't know why, I feel like we've always kind of treated George W. Bush as a little bit of a cartoon character in this country, but I kind of love that he's leaned into it in his post-presidency, where he just seems like he could be a character on King of the Hill.
Big into King of the Hill.
I finally got to the new episodes recently. Finally got there. They're fine. They're fine. I don't think this was needed, but they're fine. But yeah, Calais Campbell looked good. But the Cardinals also won, so does that make them say, maybe we're still in it, and so we're not going to trade anybody? They got to figure out what they're going to do at the quarterback position. There's a little bit of drama there about, have they already decided that they're ultimately moving on from Kyler Murray? And if they have, do they just let Jacoby Brissett play out the rest of the season to make sure?
My fantasy teams hope so.
Why?
Well, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison.
Oh, because they're better with
yes, they're
right,
better
Jacoby
with
Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett. He knows how to distribute the football.
Hey, man. I hear you. So, all I can keep saying is we'll see. We'll see. Dre'Mont Jones is a practical way that the Ravens could go about improving. They got him. Cool. Now they need him to be impactful. And I was trying to think about other times they've acquired in-season edge rush help. I mean, the Unique Ngakoue thing did not work out in season, obviously, at all. That was one of the big whiffs in Ravens trade history. The Kyle Van Noy thing technically was in season. It wasn't a trade. It's a little bit different in that way. Like, they, again, pulled someone off the scrap heap after the season.
Maybe Carl Lawson will be part 2, you know.
Somebody else brought that up to me this morning when I was over at BAL. They're like, yeah, and Carl Lawson. I'm like, I do not have as high hopes.
Well, it's not like we expected a ton from
Lawson.
Kyle Van Noy 2 years ago, did we?
We didn't. You're right about that. You are correct. So maybe we'll be stunned by what it is that Carl Lawson has to offer. But I don't know. That's the group, at least the edge rush department. I don't think there's going to be another edge rusher coming in today. That would surprise me greatly. But could there be a tackle, defensive tackle? John Harbaugh did say yesterday that Broderick Washington's return, he had surgery, and his return is not imminent, which doesn't necessarily rule him out for the year yet, but
just not this week, probably.
Certainly not this week.
Maybe afterwards?
I don't think so.
Well, not, imminent can mean anything.
That's part of the problem.
Not tomorrow.
With using not imminent is like, okay, so nothing then? And basically, yes, that's what he's telling you. It's nothing.
It's day to day, week to week.
And we'll see if there's any more moves to come. But I'll take Dre'Mont Jones for now. For now, that's what you got. Today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. John Colson just told me he's down 17 pounds.
Whoa.
17 pounds. Just from the treatment plan that Game Day Men's Health has to offer for dealing with stubborn belly fat. It's remarkable. What do you want me to say? Jeez, you want me to say like your fat face? What do you want me to say over there? God. But we all deal with it, man. Like we all are like, dude, I feel like I do the right things. I don't eat like a pig. And yet you get to a certain age and it don't matter anymore. It happens to you the first time in your 20s when like you are eating like a pig. Metabolism becomes real when you're in your 20s and you're like, oh, right, I'm not supposed to eat like a pig. I might have to, go run every now and then, right? Okay, got it. And so you adjust. But then you get to your 40s and you're like, well, I do run and I'm not eating fast food all day. And yet, what the hell's happening to me? They got you. Game Day Men's Health has a plan for you. You might be dealing with erectile dysfunction, performance issues in the bedroom. You might be dealing with, like I was, thinking that you might be low T. Turns out I wasn't. But they got a treatment plan for you if you are, starting with your complementary testosterone test. And they also had a treatment plan for me even though I wasn't low T. They put me on peptide proteins, and it's been a game changer. 443-264-4454 in Owings Mills. 443-266-3505 in Columbia. 240-931-3717 in Frederick for Game Day Men's Health. Oh, these are the conditions?
Yes, these are the conditions.
Albert Breer says these specific conditions. Interesting condition on the Ravens-Titans trade. If Dre'Mont Jones has at least 2 sacks over the rest of the regular season and Baltimore makes the playoffs, then Tennessee gets a 4th-round pick rather than a 5th-rounder from the Ravens. So what we're saying is hopefully the Ravens just paid a 2?
So hopefully he gets really close, ties up the quarterback, and then, Tavius Robinson or
somebody else.
Or Kyle Van Noy comes in and
make
brings
the play
him
and
down.
then let somebody else have the sack,
Yeah.
take all the glory.
You can get all the QB hits you need.
Like where your head's at. Although if he puts up even bigger numbers and you get a better compensatory pick back, that's
true.
the reason why you do conditional picks, right?
Okay.
Like you do it that way because if the player disappoints, then you paid a less of a draft pick price. But
So now if he gets like 10 sacks,
then presumably
we get a fourth back anyway.
or you might get a third,
third.
perhaps. It might very well be that you get a third in compensatory.
Or should we re-sign the guy?
I mean, maybe. And then you're not all that mad that you gave up the pick because you got an impactful football player. That's the concept of doing – like, it's not hard to figure out the math on these conditional picks. Like, they are doing the equation of what would we get for this player. It's the reason why Jalen Phillips cost more. Jalen Phillips cost more because he's not a pending free agent. Because you get another year of him. But for Dre'Mont Jones, you're getting the rest of the season – but now you're also getting the rights to his free agency. And we know that that's the type of thing that the Ravens value and care about. So that's a factor. Craig Albernaz is meeting with the media today, being introduced. I'm guessing it's been a tough day for the letter R over there at Camden Yards, but that doesn't matter to me. What matters is what kind of manager is he, and we will find out next year. Anything that we learn, we'll pass along during the course of this show. There was some Orioles news yesterday. They bring back Dietrich Enns on a one-year deal with a club option for 2027. Tyler O'Neill officially opts in. He was just saying to himself, God, I just love it in Baltimore. I can't leave. Tyler O'Neill officially opts in to the next 2 years of his contract. So, hopefully he remembers how to baseball. That would be staying healthy would be a good thing. And then remembering how to baseball, you'd take that. And Jorge Mateo, I was a little surprised by that. Jorge Mateo is going to become a free agent as the Orioles decline to pick up his option. So that was a mild surprise to me. Mild, given that Jorge Mateo has been a favorite of this organization for the last few years. And that, again, as I've said before, good baseball teams can use players like Jorge Mateo.
We know he's going to go to the Dodgers, but Shota Imanaga is going to be a free agent.
Definitely going to go to the Dodgers.
I mean, any interest?
Who were the other players that were granted free agency yesterday? There was some news on a couple other guys.
I forget, because it was another Cub.
Yeah.
No. Wait, no. Luis Robert. The White Sox picked up his option, so it's not Luis Robert. I forget.
I don't
forget who else
remember
it was.
either.
I mean, like yesterday it was like Bregman.
Yeah,
it was
but
some big time guys. But those guys we expected, like Edwin Diaz, Robert Suarez, all free agents.
Well, the Orioles definitely need a closer, unless Dietrich Enns is going to be their closer, or Cade Stroud. But I think they need a real closer. We will see if they're in that market. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the Ravens, the deadline, the move that's already been made. Joining us now, he is PressBox's Ravens beat writer, our friend Bo Smolka, back with us here on GCR. Bo, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. I don't know how to say it any way other than this. The Ravens need to do something at edge rush, and Draymond Harris is something. For sure, Jones. Why did I say Draymond Harris? I don't know what that was. Dre'Mont Jones is something. I don't know if he's more than something. He's been more than something for his last 4 games, and if you can get that, then you're probably going to be really happy. If he's not, then you still needed to do something. It's hard for me to quarrel with it. It's hard for me to think it's a particularly exciting move at the moment.
I mean, they had to do something, to your point. I mean, the last 3 games since the Tavius Robinson injury, they've taken the field with 3 edge rushers. And that, they're fortunate, quite frankly, that none of them got hurt in that time, or they would have really been scrambling. And they've used Trenton Simpson in spots out there, but they did feel they needed to get something done. And I know plenty of people see the irony here because they traded away an edge rusher at the time a lot of people felt they really didn't have enough edge rushers to begin with then. But they traded away, and then Tavius Robinson got hurt, and suddenly they are really thin. The edge rush has been a question all year. And so, it's a move they felt they had to make. And between him and now, remember, they also have Carl Lawson on their practice squad, and John Harbaugh implied we might see him this weekend. He's been practicing a couple weeks now. So it feels like maybe they've done something. Well, they've definitely done something to address the position. Now, to your point, will it produce? We'll see. But I feel like a move like this had to be made.
Yeah.
They could not stand pat, given the situation they have at the outside linebacker /edge rush position and expect to succeed over the next 10 games or 9 games, whatever it is. So I do think a move had to be made.
So I guess the question becomes, do you think there might be more still to be done? Or is this sort of like, hey, the Ravens made a move, this is probably the move they were going to make? What do you expect between now and 4 o'clock?
Well, and they also made the earlier move, right, to bring in Gilman when they traded away. And I think what they felt doing that, they as much as they like to play 3 safeties, they felt they needed to get another safety. And that allows, as we talked about last week, to play Kyle Hamilton closer to the line where he can have more impact. So now they've made 2 moves to address their defense. Will that be all? Maybe, maybe not. I know people are still clamoring for them to get another offensive lineman, a guy like Kevin Zeitler or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Kevin Zeitler was a guy that 2 years ago they were concerned about his health. And I don't know why that would have changed 2 years later, whether he can hold up down the stretch of a 17-game season. But the idea being, if there's someone that can help them bolster this offensive line, then you maybe go out and get that player. So if there is another move to be made, I would think maybe it's there. I know they're still talking about bolstering the defensive line in light of the Matabike injury, and Dre'Mont Jones has played on the line of scrimmage some as well. Carl Lawson has played on the line of scrimmage some as well, not in a Matabike type role, but so I think there's still a chance they make a move, but they've now made 2 moves to help shore up their defense, and they have to hope that indeed does that.
We will find out, obviously, over the course of the next few hours if there is another move to be had. Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer, is with us on GCR. Bo, you and I spoke on WBAL last week. I am still kind of trying to figure out where the line is between the Ravens are back and the Ravens have, played the Dolphins, who are maybe a money laundering scheme, and we still need to wait and figure out if the Ravens can be back. And I don't know when we're going to get that answer. I mean, it's a tough game this week to go to Minnesota, but even if they were to win there, I feel like there's going to be some level of, right, but it's J.J. McCarthy. This isn't who you're going to face to win in the AFC. I know at the moment all they need to do is stack wins, but I do still think there's a part where we're trying to measure them against, like, can they get back to a place where you can buy them as viable Super Bowl contenders? And I'm not sure what they would do for me to say, okay, yeah, I'm confident they can be that again.
I mean, that's fair, and maybe it's run this table all the way through beating the Steelers the first time, and that would be like a 6 or 7 game winning streak. I will say, I agree with you, and I think this Minnesota team just went out and beat Detroit, so they're it's not going to be an easy game in Minnesota. If they lose that game, are they done? No. If they win that game, they do have a very good chance to put together a 5 or 6 wins in a row here with the schedule coming up after that with the Jets and the Browns and the Bengals and then maybe you say they're back. But you could say that, and then if they lose at home to Pittsburgh, now suddenly they're in big trouble again.
Right.
So it probably would have to be a strong run over these next 5 weeks and then also beating Pittsburgh, because now you really put yourself in a position to win the division. And if they don't beat Pittsburgh in that first game at home, then especially with the Steelers already holding a 2-game lead on them, then that becomes a real problem. There's certainly encouraging things to see about these last couple games, especially how the defense has stiffened up. Lamar Jackson's back. There's plenty to like. But I agree with you. I think this week's going to be tough. And this team, Kyle Hamilton said it last week, they can't undo their past. They are who they are at this point. They just feel good about their focus going forward. We kind of identified in April when the schedule came out that this was the soft underbelly of the schedule, and they would need to take advantage of it after a tough opening month. It's playing out that way so far. But I do think this game in Minnesota is a big one, and then they just have to take care of the teams they're supposed to beat. And then you come down to Pittsburgh at home, and then you have a chance to really make a statement. But there's a lot of time between now and then.
Oh, there's no question. But I wonder what you make as you bring up, obviously, the changes of the defense and the Kyle Hamilton of it. What do you make of what Alohi Gilman is actually doing on the field, beyond what he allows for Kyle Hamilton to do and why we think he has value? Because somebody would say, well, you could have put anybody in that spot. You could have put another safety on your roster there in order to do that. What have you made of his actual football play beyond just, hey, it's nice to have that guy there so Kyle Hamilton can do other things?
Well, I think it's been, honestly, I think it's been kind of up and down. He's missed some tackles, but he also made a game-changing play to strip that ball at Miami and recover it and return it and get the Ravens set up inside the 10-yard line. Kyle Van Noy played with him with the Chargers and raves about him, about his leadership and the way he'll play. He came in, again, having just never, he jumped right in here after being traded 4 days earlier and played almost every snap, if I remember right, his first game. He's missed some tackles, definitely. But I think they see him as a stabilizing force back there. And quite frankly, they didn't feel they had other people that could do it. They obviously didn't trust Sanusi Kane to do it because he would have been doing it. He was already on the team. They didn't trust Reuben Lowry to do it. They tried that one day, and it was a disaster. So he's a better player than the option. So they've upgraded the position there. Like I said, I think he's missed some tackles, but when you can make a play like he made against Miami to strip the ball and recover and return, frankly, even if he hadn't even recovered it, but to make that play, they need impact plays. They need impact plays on defense. They've been saying it for 2 years, and he made one there. And if he can continue doing that and stabilizing the defense the way he is, it's a plus.
I agree. And I don't know. I think in moments he's looked, to your point, really, really good. There were some. We talked last week about the way that they use Keaton Mitchell, and is it fair at this point to ask? And I know he wasn't as explosive against the Dolphins, and he didn't. But is it fair at this point to ask? Is he just the number 2 back now for the Ravens?
I mean, it seems like he's the number 2 running back, like the second guy they want to give the ball to on runs. I still don't think they see him as a better pass protector than Justice Hill. I think Justice Hill still is a dangerous guy on third down if he's, flaring out into the flat after he pass protects and can make something happen. But it looks like Keaton Mitchell is the second choice to actually run the ball. Well, third, really, if you count Jackson. So I think so, but again, it's been limited doses with him, and he's excited just to be finally contributing again after a frustrating first 4 or 5 weeks when he was basically not playing at all. But I think so, and it'll be curious to see if he gets a larger role. Right now, it's just been a handful of plays, and John Harbaugh implied over the bye week when they did their little self-evaluation. That's how I think he describes it. We need to tag a few plays for Keaton. So it's not like they expect him to have a big workload, but just that change of pace guy that can give them a different look and in a way, obviously very different from Derrick Henry. And so I think second, I would probably say he's the second running back in terms of running, but he's not the second back in terms of
snap
pass downs, if that makes sense.
No, I get that. Bo, we've been raving about Jordan Stout. I did think it was interesting to learn from John Harbaugh yesterday that perhaps it's odd because Sam Cook's not on the staff anymore, but there maybe is some Sam Cook that's perhaps rubbing off on Jordan Stout at this point, and that might be part of what's helped him evolve and kind of become the punter that we've been waiting for him to be.
I think there is, and he obviously learned from Cook, and he had plenty of time working with him, which absolutely had to help him. And you're right, he's not there anymore, but there had to be lessons that he learned that he's still working with and working through. He has had a good year on a team that's been very disappointing. He has been one of the brightest spots, quite frankly. And in both of these last 2 games, he made tremendous plays that pinned the other team deep, and the Ravens ended up making game-changing plays. And let's not forget, he should have had another one when Trenton Simpson slid into the end zone. And that was he did everything he had to do on that punt, and the Ravens mishandled it and ended up making a touchback as Trenton Simpson slid into the end zone. That was a great kick as well. So he's having a terrific year. And I'm looking forward to talking to him soon about how do you in this year, how does a punter really, really improve? And I'm sure Chris Horton, they're going to talk about technique and commitment to the craft and all that, but it's been noticeable, and it's good because he came into a tough spot here, right? When they drafted him, Cook was here. It's clear he's the next guy, replacing a guy who's been here forever and have played more games than anyone in the history of the team. So it's not an easy thing to come in and take his spot. And he was struggling his first year. Even at one point in his second year, he mentioned that first year he felt a little bit of a burden on himself to be that next guy after Cook. But I do think whether it's just relaxing this year, whether it's just commitment to it, as you said, but he's definitely been a bright spot on this team.
The other thing that, Bo, is interesting to me, just from sort of we knew this was going to come, but apparently it looks like Mark Andrews this week will break Derek Mason's record for the most receiving yards in franchise history. And somebody might have a giggle about the idea of celebrating anything relating to receiving in this franchise's history, but we know Derek Mason was a great player. I do think it's sort of a reminder for all the trials and tribulations that Mark Andrews has been through, that he's still a Ring of Honor level player, that he's still one of the great players in franchise history.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, yeah, I know the cynics are always scoffing about the receiving records with the Ravens and all of that, but yeah, he's definitely been one of the best receivers in Ravens history. And the disappointments of the playoffs and all that have been a problem, but since Lamar Jackson and he got here together in 2018 as rookies, he's just has been Lamar Jackson's guy. This team is entirely different over the last 7 years if Mark Andrews isn't here. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, Lamar Jackson would have come up with a different player to be his, quote, favorite target, but he didn't. He had Mark Andrews. And in those first few years, whenever the play broke down, Andrews was the guy. And I know I think either Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews, or maybe both of them, they called it street ball. They kind of each knew where each other was going to be. It's this kind of telepathy that I don't think you can coach. They just kind of develop together. And it's been cool to watch them both together throughout the extent their entire careers have been playing together here in Baltimore. And I know there's a lot of questions about Andrews' future, but I'll say that you didn't see anybody from OTAs through the summer into this fall. You didn't see a player working harder and more consistently on the practice field than Mark Andrews in year 8 or whatever it was. The guy was full speed all the time. It's just how he rolls. So he's deserving of the record because he's done so much for this team. And he and Lamar Jackson, they've been fortunate to have each other for the past 7 or 8 years.
Well said, sir. At B Smolka, that's how you follow him. Of course, PressBoxOnline.com is where you read his stuff. Bo, anything else you'll be monitoring this week?
I mean, we'll see. We're looking tomorrow. We'll be out there. We'll get to see. We'll see first we'll see the trade deadline. We'll see if anything else happens with the trade deadline.
Right.
Obviously, in the next day or two, we'll see DeDre'Mont Jones out there tomorrow. I would think he'll play right away. I mean, they did with Alohi Gilman. And this is not a case of Carl Lawson where he hadn't been playing, and so they have to ramp him up into shape. This guy's been playing every week, so I'm curious to see how he looks. And we won't be able to watch the full team drills or anything, but we'll get our first look at him in a Ravens uniform tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. Bo, thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
All right, thanks. Take care.
Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer, with us here on GCR. When we come back in, Navy Notre Dame. I know Bo will be very interested in that as someone with connections to both places. We will be talking to Brandon Chatman from Navy about their showdown at Notre Dame on Saturday night. That's next. Glenn Clark Radio.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live-action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs in the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack, Costas is your place to go. Check out the website CostasInn.com for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Tuesday edition of the program. A trade has gone down, but it does not involve the Baltimore Ravens. Jakobi Meyers is headed to Jacksonville as the Jaguars ship a 4th and a 6th round pick to Vegas in exchange for the Raiders receiver. They needed receiver help with Travis Hunter sidelined, and so they get it Jakobi Meyers. And so maybe pump the brakes on your Parker Washington bids. Maybe edit that. We'll talk more about it with Joe Serpico a little bit later on. All right, had to do this a little bit earlier on because of his schedule getting ready for a big game on Saturday, but the opportunity to catch up with Navy's Brandon Chatman right here on GCR. Of course, Navy's going to try to bounce back this Saturday night. It's not going to be easy as they're going to travel to Notre Dame to take on the Fighting Irish. Our next guest, really excited to chat with him. He's had an explosive last couple of games as he's been putting up big numbers, over 200 combined yards on the ground over the last couple of games. He is Senior Navy Snipe Brandon Chatman, and he is with us now here on GCR. Brandon, it's Glenn. It's great to meet you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Thank you. It was nice. It's nice to meet you, too.
Hey, man, you are a senior. You're a leader. I've heard Scott say you're one of the big personalities on the team. So when you guys go through something, you take one on the chin. Do you, try to tell a joke? Do you try to, loosen the atmosphere afterwards? I'm sure it's tense, or what's the play for a senior in a situation like that?
I mean, obviously, right after the game, energy is low and things like that. So, just kind of try to find the tiny wins. Even though we lost, there's a lot of improvement. So, you kind of just go up to the guys and be like, hey, could be worse. We could have been blown out. Just try to lighten people up, or also just kind of reminding them that everything that we want to do is still in front of us, so it didn't really change anything. But, I save the jokes for when we get on the plane.
Okay.
It had a little time to die down.
Decompress. Is there anyone who's so intense, whose personality on the team is so intense that you know better? I'm not even going to bother trying to, make a joke or lighten up around this person because I just know they are not going to handle it well?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's anybody like that. I think it's an open environment.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Brandon, obviously the turnovers, right? Like I know that's a really simple thing to say is you can't turn the ball over like that and beat good teams. But what else? What did you take from? You guys get off to this great start. What did you take from it? How are you guys going to be better moving forward from what you learned in the loss at North Texas?
Well, I mean, I feel like it did solidify one thing. And the only thing that really stopped us in that game was us. Like we moved the ball. If you sit there and watch the whole game, we moved the ball, turnover. We moved the ball, penalty. So it's like those little things. And like we already knew that. We had that in a couple games before, and we got away with it. And North Texas was a team that made us pay for it. So they kept beating the dead horse, and they're like, yeah, like we can't make these mistakes. We can't make these mistakes. And then, it kept going to the point where it's like, all right, life had to teach us a lesson. And now we actually learned a lesson. So I think moving forward is just kind of focusing on those little details and just kind of just locking in, not jumping off sides and things like that. That's going to be the difference in these next couple games.
Well, I was going to say, what has the atmosphere been like the last couple of days? Like since, again, obviously that's disappointing. But how have the guys responded to the younger players in practice this week? Have you sensed that it did accomplish that like there is a little bit more focus and you guys have been even sharper in these last few days?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think everybody felt it. Like even in the weight room yesterday, Coach Gritzy, he was like, yeah, like everybody's like came into work, but I can feel like the energy and everybody's like 10% of their mind is still thinking about Saturday and things like that. So, I think that's a good balance where it's like it's on your mind and you're thinking like, yeah, we don't want to feel that feeling again. Because, I mean, we won 10 games in a row. You almost forget how it feels to lose, but it's real. And that's something that we don't want to feel. So I feel like, even the coaches, they're not like, getting on us getting on us and like kind of acting like out of character. They're just kind of like harping on those little things and everybody's coming in ready to work, locked in. And I feel like the atmosphere is just I feel like people are ready to go.
Yeah, I love it. Brandon Chatman from Navy is with us here on GCR. Brandon, I mentioned that you've had a couple of big weeks. That included, obviously, that 141-yard effort on the ground against Florida Atlantic. You've been a part of this offense now for 3 years, but this determined sort of way to try to find more opportunities to get you the ball, what has it meant for you this season? And maybe you don't even care about like a 100-yard game. Maybe that's not your thing. But like, I got to imagine it still feels pretty freaking good in the moment to like be having a day like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, it feels great because I mean, like that's the thing you dream of. You dream of, going to college, playing against big teams, and and making big time plays. And so I definitely I'm thankful for that experience. But I honestly just think that's what it's going to take just for us to win as a whole. Like everybody. Like getting the ball because we have a bunch of playmakers on offense and there's not enough food to go around to feed every mouth. So, some people are going to have certain games, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to you executing your job, whether you have the ball or not. So, I mean, like prior to maybe the past 2 games, I did a lot of blocking and, I take that personal and try to block as if, as if I'm running the ball so that whoever can get in the end zone. And I feel like, I maybe had a good game against FAU and Eli had like a legacy game blocking. So, it goes hand in hand. Everybody doing their job so their brother could get in the end zone.
It's awesome, man. You are, I've heard the word joy to describe you a lot from various people around the Navy football program. Brandon, where does your joy come from? Like, why are you the light that you are?
I mean, honestly, it's just, as from a football aspect, it's just the love for the game. It's a game that I love to be around, and like the guys are great people and stuff like that. And then just like at a young age, like I feel like things weren't always the best, and at times I let things bring me down. But just kind of experience the people that I ran to, and even my family, just trying to instill into me just to like always be positive and make it through the little things. Like, I was always told, don't spend more than 5 minutes on something that won't matter in 5 years. And I genuinely feel like that's real. Like if something goes wrong, it's always going to come to an end. It's important to feel the emotions and just keep it pushing. But, life is going to be life regardless. The train going to keep rolling. So, you might as well find the little wins and be happy.
That's powerful, man. I imagine that helps when you go through something like you guys went through on Saturday, right? Like when you have that sort of mindset of, this sucks right now,
Yeah.
But in 5 years, like, you're not going to be obsessed the same way over one football game that you might have lost.
Yeah. It definitely sucks. Like I definitely felt it, but it's like you literally just have to look at the positives. Like, oh, Ohio State, they won a national championship and they had a loss, or Notre Dame, they had 2 losses, they went. So it's kind of like, everything that you want to do is still doable, and it sucks that sometimes life has to be the teacher, but it is what it is. Train keeps rolling.
I appreciate that. Brandon, you mentioned Notre Dame. Obviously, that's where you guys are headed on Saturday night. What, as a senior, have you allowed yourself now to, like, soak up this? I know winning is the part that matters, but have you allowed yourself the opportunity to, like, kind of stop and smell the roses a little bit this year going through these things? Like, this is the last time you're going to go to South Bend and play Notre Dame. Do you let yourself have a moment to reflect on, like, how cool this is that you've been able to do it, and does it mean something to you? Like, wow, this is the last time I'm doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, the thought definitely pops into my mind. I try not to think about it too much because it's a little emotional. Because obviously I have aspirations to go to the league, but at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed. So I know all I got guaranteed right now is, like, 4 or 5 more games, and so it's it's a little bittersweet. But as for, like, just playing college ball and being able to experience and go to those stadiums and things like that, like, I always just kind of sit back and reflect, or I'll be talking to somebody, I'll be like, dang, like, we're really here at the Naval Academy and we're really, like, going in the stadiums playing these big games. Like, this is, like, what we dream to do. So it's definitely it's an experience that many people don't get to experience. So I definitely say take advantage of it. But it also just sometimes you go and play a game in a stadium and it's on TV, and then, like, hours later, you're just kind of, like, back in your room chilling, and you're like, dang, like, that really happened. Like, it almost doesn't feel real, or almost doesn't feel like it happened. So it's almost like a fever dream, but it's definitely a blessing.
I can respect that like, out-of-body experience. Like, this is just what you did in those 5 minutes. Like, if there's millions of people watching. Like, this is NBC on a Saturday night. This is going to be a big game. And you're just like, yeah, that was just what I was doing at 7 o'clock. Like, I respect that entirely. What's it going to take? Everybody's writing you guys off. That everybody thinks you lost a football game. This is, there's no world where Navy can turn around and go out and beat Notre Dame. What do you guys have to do? What is it going to take for you to walk in there and shock the world on Saturday night?
Well, I mean, yeah, we already know everybody's writing us off, but I feel like, none of that really matters. Like, the only people that are going to believe in us are the people on the field with me, are the people to my left and my right, or in that football building with me. Like, we are the only ones that do believe. People don't know what we have to deal with every day and what we go through and how hard we work. And, they can talk about, oh, they lost in North Texas, this and that. But, like, that was just a wake-up call to us, like, now we're ready to go. And I just think it's just going to take everybody doing their job, nothing uncharacteristic. We have a bunch of playmakers on offense and on defense, a lot of young guys on defense, kind of getting comfortable with the game of college football. And honestly, like, played against a good running back last week. So, that I think that kind of prepared them some. And honestly, I think North Texas was just like a wake up for, like, our team as a whole, even our offense. Like, we moved the ball in North Texas this year. We moved the ball on Notre Dame last year. We had 6 turnovers, 3 turnovers versus North Texas. So that's really what it was. So it boils down to, those little things, not jumping off sides, holding on to the ball, taking the right first step, going to block your man, and making a play when your number is called. So honestly, we work hard, we put in the work. So now we just got to go BS.
Have guys been, like, walking around? You've been doing the thing where you had everybody walking around with a football this week. Like, this is what we're gonna have to do.
But they have been on us at practice though.
Okay, I was wondering, like, taking it to class, taking it out to do, like, drill assignment.
We can't do that in uniform.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Not an option there. Brandon, you and I have never had a chance to chat before. Give me your. I know that part of your story was that you weren't heavily recruited and that you didn't have maybe as many options, but it's still a difficult thing for a lot of people to commit to going to an academy. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. Can you take me through why it was right for you, and now 4 years in, like, what it's meant to you to your life that you've been able to have this opportunity at the academy?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you asked me my sophomore year of high school, I would have told you I'll never go to a military academy. But I mean, I mean, here I am. But like, just my I played JV my freshman and sophomore year of high school, and then my junior year I was on varsity, and there was like 5 receivers, but I was the 5th one. So like whole season it was like 6 carries for 90 yards, and it's like it's hard to go to college like with things like that, and on top of that we were winning state championships, but we were running school, so I knew it was time for change, and I ended up going to Calvary Christian. And COVID hit. We weren't sure if we were going to have a season. We ended up having a season, and it was 5 games. And like first game, I had like 5 catches for like 150, and then I probably had like 200 off purpose yards. So it was like a breakout game for me, and I kind of kept going. And so just that I started getting recruited by schools. I had a bunch of D2 and D3 offers. I was originally going to go to Warner University. We had Diego Fago and Daniel Jones. Those are 2 guys that graduated from here, but also went to my high school. So we kind of had that connection. So, it was kind of getting close to signing day. And, my dad reached out to the coach and was like, yeah, like, could you reach out to Navy? Like, tell them just like to give me a look type thing. And I mean, they gave me a look, and, somebody's SAT scores weren't like well. And so that basically opened up a door for me. Like, I mean, it sucks, but I guess that's the reality. That's the reality of it. So, it opened up a door for me, and, just kind of start talking to me. And prior to my senior season, my family, they were just like, we can't pay for college. Like, so, I mean, like, you basically got to figure it out. And that was real. So, like, with Warner University, they were trying to get me most scholarship as possible. And then I was going to go and work there and try to, like, pay the rest off. And then 3 days before signing day, Navy reached out to me. And, I mean, they sold me a dream. I get to go play D1 football, the sport I love, at the FBS level. I get to go to school for free. And obviously, we have like, service comes with that.
Yep.
And I mean, I maybe not have been fully aware of that at the time. I'm coming out of high school, don't have any D1 offers, and I hear free school.
Yeah,
so,
D1,
free school,
right?
yeah, free school, you're getting paid, and I'm getting one of the best educations. So it's just like they genuinely sold me a dream.
Wow.
And I mean, I was still iffy about it. I'm like, oh, I want to wait. Now that I got D1 offer, maybe other schools will offer me and stuff like that. But, I didn't have much time. So, I get the signing date. I signed. I showed up, and, it was what it was. But, like, fast forward, I'm thankful that I got the opportunity to come here. Like many of my friends that went to other schools or even stayed home, I get a different experience than them. I feel like I'm learning a lot more and doing something that's meaningful. And, you always see it when you go back home, like things are the same, things don't change, and then you see how much growth you've had. So, I feel like I learned a lot of leadership skills, met some great people, and I definitely learned things that are valuable for my future.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Do you know what you want to do service assignment-wise?
Yeah, I want to do Navy Cyber.
Okay. That's cool. Where did that interest come from?
I mean, well, I'm a cyber major, so
okay.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I'm a cyber major, and so you kind of just hear people talk about it, and that's what you're around. And it definitely went a lot of time where I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So it definitely got to a point where I'm like, all right, I want to do marine cyber. And so, I was just doing all the things I needed to do marine cyber, and then close to service selection where we had to put our excuse. I mean, not our excuses, but close to service selection where we had to put our selections in.
Mm-hmm.
I met a captain in the Navy, and she was a cyber officer, and she just kind of talked to me about it and told me things, and it sounded interesting to me, so it kind of changed my mind.
That's cool.
And
man.
So I was like, all right, I want to do Navy cyber, but I put marine cyber second, so we'll see how that goes.
Man, I so appreciate and respect what it is that you're doing, dude. That is awesome, and
thank you.
Excited for the season that you've been having. Let's go shock the world on Saturday night, right?
Yes, sir.
And have everybody talking about you guys next week. Brandon Chatman, appreciate you spending time with us this morning, man. It's great to meet you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Brandon Chatman from Navy with us here on GCR. If you missed it yesterday, Stan the Fan Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson, they got together one more time to wrap up the World Series and to talk about how perhaps the Orioles could become the next World Series champions. Skeptical, but let them explain. You can find that right now, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open in Timonium at the Grandstand. And even though the weekly baseball shows will be wrapping up, Stan is going to be doing some different shows, some interview shows, newsmaker types of shows in the coming weeks, so you'll still get plenty of Stan the Fan content in those locations. We'll grab a break. We come back in, scheduled to be joined by the soccer coach of perhaps the number one team in the country, the University of Maryland. Sasho Cirovski, scheduled to join us next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your number one destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack. Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of PressBox is available now. On the cover, Don Marcus profiles new Maryland Athletic Director Jim Smith, breaking down the challenge he faces in his new role and the unique background he brings to the job. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg takes an in-depth look at Orioles outfielder Dylan Beavers. And we meet college basketball players from all the programs around the state before the season gets underway. PressBox is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region. And starting this month, you can find us at Baltimore area High's Dairy Store locations. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Tuesday edition of the program. Playoff season is upon us in high school football here in the state of Maryland, and I am, like, right now looking at the brackets. I'm looking at the 1A bracket right now where the West number 1 seed is Fort Hill. They do that a lot. Haverty Grace is the number 1 in the South. I don't understand how that works, but we'll go with it. Boonesboro is the number 1 seed in the North, and Patuxent is the number 1 seed in the East. And you can see the entire bracket laid out for every level of the state playoffs, and not just for football, but like, for example, here's the boys soccer. I'll go to the 4A boys soccer, and they are on to the second round this week. So you can find all of that at countysports.zone, which is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com, countysports.zone. Griffin wants me to share a couple of things that we've seen that have popped up from the Craig Albernaz press conference. One, this week, pull it from Jacob Calvin-Meyer of The Sun. David Rubenstein again says the Orioles have no financial constraints. First of all, it is good that David Rubenstein is there and that David Rubenstein is answering questions. It's something that I would always encourage ownership to do. more frequently, not just when they're introducing a manager or a general manager. They should be available a couple of times a year. Just the fans should hear from them in some capacity. And David Rubenstein does do other interviews, I understand. But there should be, fire a manager. You do things like this. He says they have no financial constraints, quote, we're going to try to get the best players we can, unquote. It is probably worth pointing out as a follow-up that he has suggested, and this also comes from Jacob Calvin-Meyer, Mike Elias's promotion to president of baseball operations was kept a secret because Elias is, quote, shy and doesn't like to promote himself, unquote. As Jacob Calvin-Meyer said, he might have said that in jest, but honestly not sure. Follows up by saying, Rubenstein said he's confident in Elias for, quote, years to come, unquote. I think there would be a reasonable follow-up to be asked, which would be, why? Because when he said that originally, when he took over as owner, we all kind of got it, right? We were like, well, yeah, I mean, to this point, there haven't really been any true missteps from Mike Elias. So, sure, we can understand why you would feel that way. But given how the 2024 team kind of ultimately fell apart, and then how the 2025 season went, I think that it would be a fair follow-up for David Rubenstein. Not that I think that he would necessarily answer it, but I think it would be more than fair to say, why do you still have that level of faith in Mike Elias? And to be clear, if the answer is, I only have enough faith until they were to lose 40 of their first 60 games, like if it's a measured amount, if he's putting Mike Elias on the hot seat internally, he's not going to say that. He's not going to come out and say, well, he better win or else he's out of here. It's just never the way that leadership works. If that's your guy, you say it's your guy, whether you think it really is the guy for the next decade or whether you think it's the next guy until you feel like you have to make a move. If he's your guy right now, then you say he's our guy forever. That's the way the game is played. So, what do I read into that? At the moment, not a ton. Not a ton. Nothing else that really jumps out at me so far from the Craig Albernaz press conference. I don't really... said again, Jake Real says, Michael I said he and Craig Albernaz are working in collaboration to build Orioles coaching staff. Elias says he wants Albernaz to be able to put his stamp on it. I mean, Albernaz should be hiring the staff. What are we doing here?
You looking at me? Or
why would no? I'm not looking. I'm like, why would Mike Elias be involved with hiring the staff?
Because he's the president.
Right, but that's the job of the manager, is to have his field staff. You hire a manager to hire.
I hope you're right.
Now, again, if that's legit, if it's just their way of saying like, yeah, but I'm going to talk to him about it, like, sure, but that's the way it works. The manager puts the coaching staff together. The general manager or whatever, president of baseball operations, hires the manager who then puts his staff together. So I hope that's just a kind of word salad way of saying that. And there's that. I got nothing else that's jumping out at me so far from this press conference. But if something else were to come up, we will pass it along then. No other personnel topics appear to have been really addressed that I'm seeing anyway.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah. All right, very good. I had a few people reach out to me yesterday and ask if I was surprised that Maryland didn't fire Mike Locksley. And I guess there must have been like an internet rumor going around.
Well, somebody tried to do one of the, like a fake, reporter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I also know that, like, apparently there were people that were tweeting that are, like, college football personalities over the weekend that, like, Michael Locksley is going to be fired on Monday. personalities, not reporters, like people that just have followings in college that are like tweet about college football, not people that were reporting that it was going to happen. People that like I bet that means that that type of stuff. As I've said before, I don't know how this is going to finish. Because if Maryland finishes 4-8, I don't know how Jim Smith doesn't fire Mike Locksley. But they're going to get there first. Because 6-6, as I said at the beginning of the year, is still a step forward for this program. And can show that there's a there. Can show that there's, freshman quarterback, talented freshman defenders. You can show that there's somewhere to go. So you got to ride that out to see if it happens or not. Let's talk about something that's really pleasant right now. And that is a team that's absolutely red hot. Top Drawer Soccer, as of yesterday, now says they're the number 1 team in the country. He's doing it again. Undefeated, 11-0-3 after beating Washington on Friday night in College Park. Now wrapping up the regular season at Michigan State this Friday. It is always a pleasure for us to welcome back in the 3-time national championship head coach of the Maryland men's soccer team. He's Coach Sasho Cirovski, and he's with us once again here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn up in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. It's particularly great to chat about this team. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Well, Glenn, thank you for that great introduction, and I appreciate being with you as always. Yes, and I'm excited about the team we have this year. It's just a wonderful team to coach, very mature, and obviously with a lot of talent, and I think we're a contender again.
Coach, when did you know, right? Like, when did you know? I know that it had been like a little bit of dip by your standards before, right? When did you know that this group was this kind of special?
We had a really good spring, and we played some top teams in the spring. We had a couple of transfers from UMBC, Lasse Kelp and Joseph Picoto, that really fit in seamlessly with our team and are key fixtures on our team this year. But really, it was, I think, the two or 3 days in the preseason, just seeing all the talent come together, and it was probably about 3-4 days in the preseason. I sat with my staff. I said, guys, we got a contender here again. We got a special group, and it's even more special than I thought, because the chemistry, the unselfishness, the culture, the competitiveness, the honesty, the humbleness is really special, and I think. I think we've got a real good team now.
Was there one particular match, right? Like, I watched the Indiana match. Like, there have been some obviously great Friday nights. Was there one particular match maybe early that you still needed? I need to see it against this level of competition, and then I'll know.
Yeah, so we played two really good teams in preseason, which was George Mason, who's really become a upstart mid-major in this area, and then we played Marshall in preseason, and those were sort of signs that, hey, we've got something good here. But we opened up the depleted team. We didn't have much depth, and we lost, a close game to them. So we opened up at Wake, and the first half at Wake this year, we're up 1-0, and then the game got called off due to lightning. But, it wasn't a moral victory, but it was a convincing performance that said, okay, guys, that's not an easy place to open up and play. They were the AC champs last year. They were in the quarterfinals, and we played really well. And then we followed that up with one of our local rivals, Georgetown, who sent the better of us the last couple of years, and a great team. And we went to their place, and it was a great game, really. And after that game, you looked at both teams and said, both of these teams could be in the quarters or Final Four type of teams. And we won that game. So I think that opening weekend, we served notice that this could be a special year for Maryland. And then obviously we've continued throughout the year, play really good teams and find ways to keep getting better. So yeah, we're in a good place. But, look, in 2016, I had an undefeated season also, and we bowed out pretty early in the crazy game against Providence. So I have a lot of history. So, right now we're trying to stay humble, very humble, and I'm keeping the guys very hungry. I remind them every day they haven't done anything yet, so I'm playing on their pride a bit.
I appreciate that, Coach. Coach Sasho Cirovski is with us here on GCR. Maryland unbeaten as they're about to wind down the regular season. Coach, I think most of your teams over the years, you've rarely had like the one, this guy will go score 15 goals and then everything else, every now and then you've had one of those, but for the most part, it's always been more balanced. Is that always on purpose? Like you and I have just never talked about this. Like, do you ever recruit someone and say, boy, I hope I can count on him to score 20 goals? Or maybe it's not recruiting anymore. It's, to your point, the transfer portal, the way that the sport works these days. Or do you purposely do this where you say, no, I want a bunch of different guys that might be the guy that's coming through for us in the biggest moments?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I think, one of the goals coming into this year was to have more balance in the team, but also have more depth. And I think we have both. When we brought in Stefan and GK as a transfer from LIU last year, you got a goal and assist against us in the playoffs. That gives us another really attacking dynamic threat, along with Saddam Masareka. And so right now we're getting goals from our backs, our midfielders, and our forwards. So I think it makes us a little bit tougher to deal with, knowing that there isn't one guy that you have to neutralize or shut down. Look, would I love to have one guy scoring 15 goals and having the other balance as well? That's the ideal scenario. But I think it's better to know that our goals can come from so many different players. And I would take that over one guy, scoring 20 goals.
I appreciate that. A year ago, Lauren Mack got playing time. And you saw signs, right? Like, what changed? Or maybe is it that just the entire team's better, and when your entire team's better, it makes a goalie's life easier, right? Like, I look statistically, and he's had a dramatically better season, and maybe that's just growth from one year to the next, but can you walk me through all of the elements of that and the season that he's had?
Yeah, I think some of the things you said are spot on. First of all, he's a young man from Germany that came here, and it took a little while to adjust to the college game. It's a little different, a little bit more fast-paced than some of the soccer played in Germany at a high level. But also, he's a goalkeeper, and communication is a very important part of it. And, his English was not great when he first got here. He'd have to kind of think about what he said and translate it in his head. And now it's second nature. Now his ability to organize and communicate is much better. It's like a hitter who sees the ball coming in a little slower right now. He sees things and he can adjust and adapt to everything. But he's much more confident overall because of some of those factors, but also he's been with us now. He spent an entire fall, spring with us, and now coming into this year, he just looks, he's more at peace with not only his position, with the players in front of him, but with his ability to communicate and organize. I think that's led to a higher performance. But, when goalkeepers get shut out and they get a better goals against average, that doesn't just go on a goalkeeper. I think that he's got a bunch of players in front of him very committed to defending. And because we're able to keep the ball a little bit more in our possession and put more teams under pressure with the ball, that's also minimized some of the opportunities we've been giving away to teams in the past.
I think it's clear the impact that both of those are having at this point. Sasho, you mentioned the 2016 team, right? And I'll juxtapose it against 2018, where in 2018, I don't know, maybe you did see it coming, but I think most of us would have said, when you guys went like 500 in conference play that year, right? And then all of a sudden turn things on. Do you have a sense for how a team, given how many times you've done this and all the success you've had in the NCAA tournament, do you have a sense for how a team is going to respond? Like in 2018, did it surprise you? In 2016, were you surprised because you thought that team? Do you have that sense for this group and how they're going to handle those moments?
Yeah, great question again. 2016 team was very talented, but we did not have a large group of seniors that could influence the locker room in the way we did in 2018 and 2008 and 2005. So the key to all of the national championships is we had, at least 6 or 7 influential seniors that really could start owning the locker room, so to speak. And I think all of those became player-led teams as we got into the playoffs. I think this team right now, we actually have 13 seniors on this team, including some of the 1-year and 2-year transfers. And they are doing an incredible job of leading this team. So I think in 2018, part of the reason we didn't have a great regular season is that throughout the year we had key guys like there was Donovan Times missed a bunch of games. Then we had Chase Gasper missed a bunch of games, players at the back. We had some injuries throughout the year, and then we just got healthy at the end of the year. And then that's when we ran the table and didn't give up a goal in the tournament. But that wouldn't have happened if you didn't have strong leaders in the locker room. And we just got healthy at the right time. Right now, we have really good depth, and I see the similarity of sort of your juniors and seniors, on a mission, basically. And I think that's what I'm seeing right now.
You guys just had the celebration of the 20th. I mentioned the Indiana match. You had the celebration for the 2005 team. Can you tell us a little bit about what that meant for these guys to be able to meet those guys, to be able to interact, and did you feel a little bit of that magic maybe like running off on this group that night?
Yeah, I think if you were to ask some of our players, I think the definitive answer is yes, in probably even a bigger way than I anticipated. We had a luncheon the day after our game against Indiana with all the players. We spent a couple hours and sort of reviewed the season. We had some of the players speak, but they interacted throughout the time. And I think, I think sometimes we don't do a great job of having our current players understand the history and the legacy of players before them. And this was a great opportunity for them, not only to hear about their record, but to meet the personalities and have these players really articulate what their 4 years at Maryland or 3 years or what a championship meant to them, the doors that opened, the relationships that developed, and the legacy they left. And I think it was just kind of like, it's like all of a sudden you saw the eyes pop up in our players like, yeah, I want this. This is great. This is cool.
Cool.
I want something like this, So we'll see. Look, soccer's a weird game. You can play a perfect game and lose, and it's kind of what it's happened to me in the past. So we're trying to stay humble. We're trying to make sure that we keep getting better every game. Paying attention to details. All of the coach speak you normally hear, but it's all truth. So we hope we can keep it rolling.
I love it. I just wanted to ask you about a couple of local kids that are helping out big ways for you. Can I start with Jace Clark?
Yeah, Jace has been terrific. He came into college last year, actually struggled a little bit with his fitness and the pace and the physicality of the college game. He's been great this year. Jace is improving every game. I mean, I think his best game of the year just happened against Washington the other day. He was one of the top players in the match. He's really he's loving the experience right now. And I think, he almost didn't go to college. Obviously, he was, playing with Loudon on an academy contract in USL, and he's really, really coming into his own right now.
That's awesome. And then I know Matias De Jesus.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of local kids. Matias is a player that he's one of the really good stories in our team. He's battled injuries throughout. He's, started games, played some minutes here, but is just a team first guy. He's scored some good goals for us this year, played some key moments, but even when he's not playing, he's contributing. And he's one of the more liked and respected guys in the team in the locker room. So he's been great. And then we have also, Brian St. Martin from Mount St. Joe in Baltimore, who's played some key moments for us. He's scored a goal earlier this year for us. He's played a little bit in the back, but he's also played further up the field because he serves a good ball. He's very good in the air. So he's been good. Kenny Quest Thurston out of Baltimore Armor, Columbia, Maryland kid. Also battled some injuries, but has played some key moments and has been a key fixture this year. And then Albion Dranica out of Olney has been obviously, his story you could write a book on because he had a mysterious injury that kept him out for a year with a bacterial infection in his spine. And for the first year in his career, he's fully healthy, and he's been a key component in our team. got some key goals and assists, in the last month or so. So, yeah, a lot of good Maryland influence. We have a lot of international influence. We have a lot of around the country influence. It's just it's a really good locker room.
And how about Dane St. Clair, huh?
Dane, my boy, goalkeeper of the year. That's what we do here at Maryland.
That's
We help him develop, and they go on to great things. He's played in the last World Cup for Canada. We'll play in another World Cup this summer for Canada, and he's doing a great job. With Minnesota right now, they're deep in the playoff hunt, and he's a big reason. So, yeah, we're very, very proud of him. The goalkeeper union from Maryland in MLS and beyond is pretty good, and I think Lauren Mack will continue that as well.
That's a cool legacy. Coach,
Yeah.
as to your point, I'm going to say congratulations what you've done, but I understand you're going to say, nope, we haven't done anything yet. So just keep it up, is I guess what we'll say instead.
Yeah.
And then we'll look forward to talking to you about it when you've actually done the thing, and then we'll have that conversation.
Yeah.
And we'll congratulate you at that point. But it's awesome. It's awesome to see you guys, and we're having a lot of fun watching you guys once again. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and you take care, and go Terps.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Sasho Cirovski, Maryland soccer coach. You're looking for something positive. They are awesome, and they're a lot of fun to watch, man. That Indiana match, watch that. That was on TV that night. They're a fun team. He talks about the speed. Like I do a lot of college soccer. They play faster than your typical college soccer team. So it's a joy to watch them play. And they got a real chance. Looking forward to seeing how things go for them. Today's show is also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. Nowhere better to watch every big game, every big fight, every big everything than Inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. Love it there. Great food, tremendous drink specials, 100-foot media wall, just steps away from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Sports and Social inside Live Casino and Hotel, Maryland. Every Tuesday, we preview Waiver-Wire Wednesday with our guy, PressBox Fantasy Football Analyst Joe Serpico, with us now once again here on GCR. Joe, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Doing well, guys. It's another one of those weeks where I don't have a whole lot to give out to you, but there's a couple guys there, but otherwise it's another week where we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I would assume that given the deal this morning, that if Jacoby Myers is available, he becomes, is it a priority ad now that he's in Jacksonville with Travis Hunter out?
I mean, he would become the de facto number one. I had in there Parker Washington just for that exact reason. He was kind of the last man standing now with Travis Hunter being out, and then Brian Thomas Jr. and Diamond Brown getting banged up this weekend. So I had Parker Washington. Then we get, like you said, we got this news now about Jacoby Myers. Now, if he's available, yeah, I think you do got to grab him moving forward just because he's probably becomes at least the number two for the Jaguars. I mean, let's face it, Brian Thomas has kind of been a letdown this year for a lot of fantasy owners. So if you're really trying to get anything with that Jags passing game, those are probably the two guys to own until Travis Hunter comes back. But at the same time, the Jags are another one of those teams. They've been kind of infuriating for fantasy managers.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're guys you have to own. But at the same time, I'm not really sure how much I am willing to put them in my starting line.
What would you be doing fab-wise if he's available?
If Jacoby Myers is out there, probably not anything too crazy. Let's say maybe 5%, maybe 10% if you're truly desperate this week, because there is a couple of some significant wide receivers that are on a bye this week. So if you're one of those situations where you need a guy, I would say that for probably both guys, to be honest. A little bit more towards Myers, but then if you're truly desperate, Parker Washington's an option there as well.
Okay, so he still has some value even with Jacoby Myers now being there. Of course, we'll have to see if anybody else gets dealt today, and that might have any impact on their value. I guess the other big storyline this week is, of course, Tucker Kraft now being done with the torn ACL, which sucks. I'm going to ask twofold. Is there any value in Luke Musgrave? But really, I'm going to guess that there's better options at tight end than just trying to turn things over to Luke Musgrave.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's why, to be honest, I didn't even put him in my list this week. I just think there's better options for you out there. Yeah, he probably will still get some looks. People probably forget that actually Musgrave was drafted ahead of Kraft in the same draft class. But at the same time, it's been a situation where Musgrave has been kind of banged up. That's why we haven't seen a whole lot of him in the past couple of years. It kind of works out that he kind of got healthy right when the situation happened to Kraft. But you said it. There are a couple guys that I wouldn't say a couple. There's probably about, let's say, 15 to 20 guys I would much rather have before I go after getting Musgrave. The one I put out to this week was Colston Loveland. Now, probably was a situation where he was like borderline available for a lot of managers, but if we see now when he does get the opportunity, he is being looked at. But the reason why I wasn't so big on him heading into the year is because it's always been kind of a 50-50 split between Loveland and Kmet there. So, yeah, if the situation is like I wouldn't just go grab Musgrave just because Kraft is banged up now. And you said it, that's a huge blow just because he was just having a phenomenal fantasy season.
Yeah, he's just been really reliable. Like in a world where tight end sucks, like it is just hell to talk about tight ends. Tucker Kraft has just proven to be kind of like a steady force of the position. So it sucks that he goes down. So give me your thoughts. I know Cole Kmet was out this week. If Cole Kmet is back, then is Colston Loveland really a viable option?
No, it's like right now I have him borderline at tight end 1. If we do find out that Kmet is back, I'll probably drop him 3 to 4 spots. And then that's a situation there where I probably would much rather play like a Theo Johnson or a Mason Taylor just because they are the one for their teams. Neither are really that great of an option, but better off having a guy that I know is going to be the number 1 tight end as opposed to some of these situations we see around the league where a lot of guys are touching the ball. Like the other night with Seattle, but we saw both of their both of their tight ends get a lot of looks. I would much rather have a guy that it's his job solely as opposed to rely on somebody that could probably share with somebody else.
I feel like Devin Singletary was available in most leagues. To your point, I think everybody went out and got Tyrone Tracy. I still have to think there's a limit here. This is one of those where, like, probably should be owned, but are you really spending much to go get him?
No, like I actually said, I probably put little to no fab on there. The whole situation just seemed weird. We saw Tracy take over for Singletary last year. Leading up to the injuries, Cam Scatterbo, Devin Singletary was kind of regulated to just kickoff returns. So to see him kind of get in the mix as much as he got even more touches than Tyrone Tracy kind of threw me off. And let's face it, when you're in one of those situations with the Giants, they have been kind of struggling on the ground as it is. To be honest, the only true Giant that I think I'm trusting right now is probably Jackson Dart. Everybody else is probably sitting on my bench right now. So Singletary is a guy you put on the very end of your bench. You see if maybe he becomes maybe they go 1A, 1B, or maybe he does actually take over the job. But there was a reason why everybody, not just me, but everybody thought that Tyrone Tracy was going to be the guy to pick up last week. And man, did he lay an egg for anybody who started him this week.
This is a good question. Okay, you want to go ahead, Griffin? Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question about somebody. I already forget who.
Okay.
Pop Douglas. Is he with Kayshon Boutte injured? I guess we're still not sure of the significance of the hamstring injury, but he obviously didn't finish the game Sunday, and then Pop Douglas ended up having a pretty big day.
Yeah, again, you kind of alluded to it. It all depends on what's going on with Boutte there. We kind of see how every week it seems to be a different guy with the Patriots. So that makes it kind of infuriating. Just a couple of weeks ago, I probably would have said, hey, Stephon Diggs is somebody you want to start on a regular basis. And then he's been, kind of a, hit or miss every week too. So that's one of those situations. While Drake May is having a phenomenal season, by the way, but at the same time, all the receivers are getting equal work essentially. So again, if you're desperate because of all the guys that are on a bye this week, maybe you pop Douglas in there. But I'm not going too crazy when it comes to fab adding him to my team.
This was a question that I got. Joe Serpico, PressBox Fantasy Football Analyst, is with us here on GCR. This is a question I got yesterday. For somebody wanted to ask you. This is Brian. Brian says, can you ask your guy if there is anyone that might be hurt that another owner may have dropped that could still end up playing in games in the fantasy playoffs that I could think about stashing at this point?
But injuries have been weird this year because don't get me wrong, we've had some significant injuries, but even like most of your running backs haven't really been truly banged. Like the first one that came to mind, to be really honest with me, was Trey Benson, but I'm going to assume a lot of people have stashed him away. trying to think. I know some people have been holding on to Joe Burrow as somebody who could potentially be back down the stretch. I don't think that's going to happen with the way the Bengals season's going. There's no point in bringing Joe Burrow back to play in December if they're completely out of contention there. So off the top of my head, those are like the first two that came to mind, but I'm going to assume that a lot of cases those guys are kind of been on IR or being stashed away on IR, so there's not really a de facto guy on waivers that I can think of off the top of my head that you want to be holding on to. Like earlier in the season, we knew like, hey, you're going to hold on to Rashee Rice, something like that. We don't really have that guy kind of moving forward.
Some guys that I see available, like Joe Mixon, someone just dropped finally. Is it worth? I guess would that be one that's worth it? Jaden Reed or Cedric Tillman, I guess, are the other two that maybe have a little bit of value.
I mean, I've been stashing Cedric Tillman in our PressBox league, but that's just more of a true desperation play, just because of we seem to be taking up all the wide receivers in that league. Joe Mixon, I talked about him a couple weeks ago. Nobody knows what's going on with him. So he's kind of hard to, I mean, if you have the roster room and you want to keep stashing him, I guess you can do that. But I also think it's one of those, I mean, he was kind of slowing down a little bit last year too. And I mean, Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, they're getting by with what they're doing right now. But I do think, like, let's say Mixon comes back, I think we're then looking at a three-headed monster. So, I mean, yes, I can understand maybe wanting to stash him and see if that plays out. But again, we have no clarity on his situation whatsoever. So who even knows if he comes back at all this year?
Fun. Anything else that we should be looking at for this week?
What do you think about?
Well, I have
what do you think about J.J.
two
McCarthy,
things, I guess.
Joe?
If you've lost Jaden Daniels, you can go out and get Sam Darnold if he's out there for you. He's been a top 10 quarterback in 4 of the last 6 games. The only other thing that I really had to note is I just pay attention to the trade deadline. We're about 3.5 hours away from that ending. If some were to happen to, I've mentioned it for weeks now, Breece Hall, as Isaiah Davis is out there, he's somebody that tomorrow morning that you want to put some significant fab on to grab him. Again, it's kind of the same situation if Alvin Kamara gets dealt there. But, I mean, let's face it, I kind of said a bunch of defensive guys are getting traded, but it just doesn't seem like the offensive players, other than Jacoby Myers, seem to be on the move. So if we do see another move, then, keep an eye on, especially if it's here. They kind of got to be your guys the rest of the way, and if they got banged up, you are kind of SOL the rest of the way.
I am a Jaden Daniels owner across multiple leagues. So what do you think of some guys, and these are deeper, at least the quarterbacks are not very available. So like J.J. McCarthy is available. Someone dropped Kyler Murray, Marcus Mariota, Brock Purdy's available. Any of those guys like have positive value?
I mean, for this week, if you're going to play any of them, maybe J.J. McCarthy. I'm not too sold on that yet. Murray might not be the starter the rest of the way. I think even the commentators alluded to that last night. And then Brock Purdy was somebody I was actually kind of big on entering the year, but what we're seeing from Mac Jones makes me think, I mean, is there any incentive for the 49ers to start Purdy over him? So all three of those guys you kind of mentioned there, I'm kind of wishy-washy about. If you have to pick between those, and it's just more because I know he's going to play this weekend, it's J.J. McCarthy. But then
he plays the Ravens.
We all hope that the Ravens' defense is kind of on the up and up, but I guess we will find out this week.
Well, then, thanks for the help at Joe Serp.
I know. I wish I could be more of a help, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just been a rough, especially this week. Especially with we've got the Bengals, Cowboys, and Chiefs on a bye, so you're looking at some significant guys out, especially receiver.
Joe,
I don't have much to do there.
I am likely to be starting Kyle Monangai, Woody Marks, and Kamani Vidal next week in a league.
Well, at least you have all those guys, because let's face it, if you didn't grab those guys, I see some people out there that are starting way worse. Let's put it that way.
At Joe Serp, that's how you follow him, PressBoxOnline.com. Joe, always appreciate you, buddy. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Absolutely, guys. Hopefully a little bit more for you next week. Not that we're rooting for injuries, but hopefully a little bit more
something that might
be
helpful. It's Joe Serpico with us here for Waiver-Wire Wednesday preview, as he is every Tuesday. All right, winding down for a Tuesday edition of the program. I have not heard a congratulations yet.
For what, the Suns won or something, or
just say it.
You did.
Just say it.
I don't think I should be.
Just say it.
What if you did something really? What if you did something really evil? And
just say the word.
Congrats.
Yes, indeed. Victorious Team Norfolk and Way last night.
Oh, okay, I was like
Monday Night Trivia. Indeed, we were champions.
Off the schneid.
Yeah, well, we won another week this season, but it's been a rough go. I will acknowledge that. It's been a rough go for us. I'm trying to remember. Oh, of course, my buddy did not send me the one question that I asked him to take a picture of, so I appreciate that. I'll give you this one instead. There's a picture of no scoreboard.
Well, Jerry Coleman took a video of all the renovations going on. Do we want to watch it? No.
I mean, sure.
This is what matters.
Is it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We cover the Orioles.
We do. I mean, we kind of knew this was going on. Is there something that we didn't know?
You know, it's shocking to see, isn't it?
No. I mean,
oh my gosh, it took down the scoreboard.
Right. We knew that. We've literally seen pictures of it.
No, this is my first time seeing it. We've seen pictures of it before.
Yeah, we have. People have posted them.
All right. Hold on.
Is there something else that we were looking for?
Well, I mean, there's no grass.
Right, because they're redoing the grass after the Rams practice.
They're redoing the press box area.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's Jerry Coleman.
I mean,
Thank you.
We cover the Orioles, so I thought.
I guess we do. 3 college football programs have won the national championship more than twice.
So 3 times.
3 times or more in the 2000s.
Like post 2000 or
in the 2000s.
Oh, so between 2000 and 2010?
No, everything.
Okay, so since
in this century.
Well, Bama. 3 times. They've had to win it 3 times. 3 programs.
3 or more.
3 programs.
3 programs have won 3 or more national championships.
Alabama, LSU, and then the other one. That would be. I mean, okay. Ohio State won one in like 04 or 05. Wasn't 05. I think it was 04. And then they won last year. Obviously, there's probably another one in there because they're Ohio State. Yeah, Romero. Did he win? Yeah, did he? Or Ohio State. Ohio State. LSU, Alabama, Ohio State.
Is that your final answer?
Those are my final ansers, yeah.
Well, you would have gone 3 for 3. Congratulations.
Thank you. I would have won as well.
3 for 3.
So, yeah, you said congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, I did. Well, you wouldn't have won. I don't think you would have done well in some of the other areas. We did also go 3 for 3. Okay. I did struggle for a second. Like, did either Miami or USC win a third in there somewhere when they were winning national championships in the first decade of this century? But no, neither one of them did. The one that tripped everybody else up, I was surprised you got it so calmly, was indeed LSU. Yeah. LSU. 3 different coaches won national championships.
Yeah, I guess I was like, did Saban win it in 99? But I was pretty sure he won
I was struggling with the same thing. Like, what year was the Saban title? So for 2 of those schools, for 2 of those schools, 3 different head coaches have won national championships. So for LSU, they were
Saban,
yes.
Ed O, and Les Miles.
There you go. And for Ohio State,
Urban.
Yep.
Ryan Day. And they had 3 different ones.
Yep.
Shoot.
Yep.
This would have been the 16 one.
No, that was Urban.
No, that was Urban.
And it wasn't 16. Yeah, it must have been 16. Yeah, 16 sounds
Cordell
right.
Jones.
Yeah, Cardell Jones.
Cardell Jones. Shoot, I don't know what the early one was. I don't know.
Jim Tressel.
Tressel.
With Maurice Claret as running back, famously, and then he tried to go to the NFL. This is back before you had to be in college for 3 years. They sued to.
Isn't it still 3 years?
Yeah, but they sued to try to get out of that. Him and.
Oh, so they could play it like 2 years.
Yeah, they could go after their sophomore season. Him and I want to say Mike Williams maybe was the other one that sued, and it became a whole ordeal, man. Like, it became a legitimate issue. So he had been dismissed by Ohio State after winning the national championship as a freshman. And then he sued to be included in the 2004 NFL Draft. He won his case at trial. However, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals reversed that decision. It was this whole, it was Mike Williams. I had that part right.
Good job. Congratulations.
Yeah, look at me, killing it over here. So they got, went through the process. They were approved. They're doing it. And then they were told, nope, not allowed to.
Not allowed to go to the NFL.
Not allowed to go to the NFL.
Okay.
So they had already declared and taken money and had an agent, so they couldn't go back to college afterwards. This is when the NCAA actually enforced rules and things like that. So he had to sit out a year and went to I don't know what he did for a year. I really don't know what he did for the year. I couldn't
European
tell you.
Football, or?
Yeah, I have no idea what it. That's a great question. What did he do for?
What does this have to do with Jim Tressel? Jim Tressel got in trouble for this?
No,
or?
Jim Tressel was the coach of the team with
okay.
Maurice Clarett. And Maurice Clarett was this massive figure because he led Ohio State to a national championship as a freshman.
Gotcha.
And then became this pop culture sensation because of his fight to try to play in the NFL. But ultimately wasn't meant to be. The other sports question last night it was only part of a question. There was a 3-part question. It was, these 3 people share the same last name. One is the mayor of Philadelphia. Another is a legendary jazz musician whose nickname is Bird. And the other is a 2-time WNBA MVP who is now a brand ambassador for Adidas.
Two-time
president of basketball for Adidas.
Oh, okay. And what were her accomplishments in the WNBA?
2-time WNBA MVP.
2-time MVP.
More is your guess.
Yeah.
You want to guess who the name of the jazz musician?
No.
I'd like for you to do that.
If it's not Moore, it's Davis.
I want you to guess the name. If you think it's Moore, because then there was a bonus point if you could name
Wes Moore.
If you could name Wes Moore, there you go. Legendary jazz musician Wes Bird Moore, and then the mayor of Philadelphia would be, also Wes Moore. Look at how you did that. That's incredible.
But the basketball player would be Maya Moore.
Amazing. It's not Maya Moore. Yeah,
but
unfortunately.
It's are we sure it's not Moore though?
So the name was not,
it's not
Moore. Yeah, there was not another.
How about Deladon?
And of course, the jazz musician would be
Steven
Deladon, yes. And the mayor of Philadelphia is
also Steven
Deladon. Thank you. No. Darn. No, unfortunately. Not Deladon.
Maybe it's it could be a Bird.
Bird. So I'm assuming you think it's Sue Bird.
Yeah.
The jazz musician would be Bird.
Yeah.
What, give me a first name for
the mayor?
No, for the jazz musician.
No, for the
Richard Bird.
Yeah.
And the mayor of Philadelphia is
probably
Wes Bird. I like it. No, not Bird.
It's not Bird.
Right.
And they were two-time
WNBA MVP. You're not gonna believe this, but
they
got
retired.
this one.
They're retired from basketball.
Well, that wasn't part of the clue.
Okay. Wilson.
They are retired.
Okay.
But go ahead. The name of the jazz musician is
that would have been Woodrow.
Woodrow Wilson. Exactly right. The mayor of Philadelphia is
Roman.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, he's probably not doing anything for the Steelers right now, so why not?
It's not Wilson.
It's not Wilson. No,
then it was.
It's going well.
Other
got it on the 8th rebound. He'll say
basketball players.
Two-time MVPs. For what it's worth, I did not know the first name of the Philadelphia mayor. We did not get the. I had the other two. I had the other two. That was the one that tripped me up.
Bird musician. So I mean, I'm not gonna know the musician. I guess Davis.
It's not Davis. You were gonna go with Miles, I assume.
No.
No. Okay. And who was the basketball player you're gonna go with?
Davis.
Davis, yes. 2-time WNBA MVP. Davis.
Then it's got to be.
Yes.
Is this like an older basketball player who have I not? I'm sure
You've
it'll hit
named
me. Lobo.
It's not. Go ahead, though. The musician is?
New Mexico.
New Mexico Lobo. Legendary jazz musician. And the mayor is?
Probably also New Mexico, I would assume.
So you're suggesting it's the same person or two different?
Two different New Mexicos.
New Mexico Lobos. That's a good point. No, not Rebecca Lobo.
Then is it?
I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
I don't think she won the MVP.
Well, that'd be hard for her to win it twice if she didn't win it once.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sure it's not more?
I'm certain that it's not more.
Adidas.
Yeah.
Where's Adidas based out of?
That's a good question. I don't know. I really don't.
You got this right.
I did get this right.
You probably cheated.
I didn't cheat. I will tell you that I was aided by the jazz musician. No, it made it easier for me to figure out
who Bird is.
Yeah, I mean, I got it through the WNBA one, but it was like I knew both at the exact same time.
What team did they play for? I don't know if that'll help.
3-time WNBA champion.
I don't know enough about the WNBA. Named all the
boy,
WNBA players. I know it's not Clark. It's not Reese.
Number retired by 2 different teams.
Wow, good
that
for
she
her.
won titles with.
Yeah, Ionescu's still playing.
She is. You're right.
And she'd probably be Nike anyway.
I would think. At Oregon, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Really not old-timey. Just retired 2 years ago.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Congrats to her.
Indeed, congrats to her.
She wouldn't.
And in fact, retired right after winning her 3rd title.
Plum is still playing.
Kelsey Plum is still playing, yes. That is true.
Gosh, who the heck was playing? Taurasi.
Not Diana Taurasi, but a contemporary of Diana Taurasi's. But I'd love to know, again, the jazz musician is...
It was also Diana Taurasi.
Is also Diana, and the mayor?
She was mayor of Philly.
Oh, my God, it's the same?
Yeah.
That's weird.
She was actually all 3.
I kind of feel like you're giving up with this.
I don't think I know any of the
This
Taurasis.
is really bad. Was a legend at... Oh, you know what? A legend at Tennessee.
Oh, darn it. So that means it was...
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This is bad. This is ugly. Was literally a guest picker on College Game Day earlier this season.
Oh, Parker?
Yes. That's the one. That's the one that guides you directly to the answer.
Candace Parker.
God.
That's the basketball player.
Yes, the jazz musician.
Could have been... It was actually Parker Washington.
No.
No?
No. Last name is Parker.
Oh,
I
last name
promise.
is Parker.
Washington Parker.
Okay.
So if you had said it that way, you
and then Willie Parker.
And Willie Parker. Charlie Bird Parker, of course, legendary jazz musician.
I was on the tip.
Yeah, I know it was. And the mayor, admittedly, I did not get this, but we did, both Proctor and I did remember that she had famously misspelled Eagles last year in the lead up to the Super Bowl. ELGSES. Elgises. But her name is Sherelle Parker. We guessed Roz.
You had to get the first name right, or you didn't?
In order to get the bonus points.
Okay.
You had the bonus points if you could. Well, no, I think we guessed Rhonda. That's what we went with. We knew we were getting it wrong, so we just guessed. What is it not? So we went with Rhonda.
I got it. Yeah.
We did not have that. But yeah. Oh, yeah. You absolutely got it. 100% nailed that one. Do we still need to do tidbit, or can we just call it?
I thought I had a good one because I wanted to get you to guess.
right.
I wanted you to guess something that you were never going to get.
Okay, fair enough. Tidbit is brought to you by the print issue of PressBox, which is available for free at the Baltimore area highest dairy stores. Go pick it up right now. You can read it all online at PressBoxOnline.com. New Maryland AD Jim Smith on the cover. And great story from Don Marcus. Also lots of college basketball content after college basketball season started last night with Maryland indeed beating Coppin State, Towson downing Loyola, Morgan falling to Georgetown, and I don't remember what Navy did against Presbyterian.
Oh, they won.
They did.
Won. They won.
Good
First
for
game
them.
of the John Perry.
Good for
they
them.
Won. Speaking of basketball,
But Coppin played last night too, right? And
Yes,
they did not.
They
win.
played Maryland. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Last time, so Florida lost last night to Arizona.
Charlie Parker.
Well,
yeah.
The last time a defending national champion lost their opener, starting the season 0-1.
Lord, how would I possibly know
2003.
that? Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Who'd they play? I don't even remember who they played in the opener. Man, I got to think about this. Who did Maryland play?
No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was. Well, Maryland won.
They won the 2002.
02. Yeah. So that would have been the 02.
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
the 02.
It was
So
the 03
it was Syracuse.
Yes, Syracuse.
Okay.
And at least Florida lost to like Arizona.
I'm doing
who
the
was
following
15.
year, but you of course play in the same
I looked
year.
at it first two and I was like, wait, what?
That's
and
gonna screw with me.
Yes,
Yep.
it was Syracuse. They lost to Charlotte.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, rough.
96-92. Back in 03, so that's the last time
Not great.
that happened.
That's
Florida
still
losing
odd
to
that it
Arizona.
hasn't happened. That just means that basically national champions haven't bothered to play anybody real in the first game
which
the next
could
year.
which might not be true. Like there might be one that played a real opponent
Yeah,
and
maybe.
happened
But
to win.
more often than not.
Yeah. Gold Glovers came out this week. I think it was Sunday night that they were officially announced.
Dynamite timing on that.
Yeah. 20 Gold Gloves handed out.
How many of them can I get? None. I did actually look over. This is straight shoot. I looked over the list, and I swear there was a player.
It's some of the most.
Someone won a Gold Glove that I had never heard of. The Marlins have a utility man.
Yes.
That won a Gold Glove. I have never heard of this baseball player.
I had to do a double take when I saw it.
Did you know who it was?
I had heard of him. I mean, that's just I play fantasy, so I
swear
literally
to God,
look at these guys.
I had never
every
heard
day,
of this person. Who is it?
It was Javier Sanoja.
Sure. I had never heard of him.
There are 5 guys that went back to back.
Was Bobby Witt one of them?
Bobby Witt was
because
one
I
of them.
believe I remember seeing Bobby Witt.
Yes, Bobby Witt back to back Gold Glover. 4 others.
I don't think I'm gonna. There was one of the catchers. I was like, I don't know who that is.
Both of them, maybe.
Well, who were they? Was one of them one that went back to back?
Yes, he was.
Oh, then I probably know who that is.
It was the Giants catcher.
Right. Who the other one? Who was the other one?
The other one was the Tigers catcher.
And yeah, I definitely did not know that guy. Who was his name?
Dylan Dingler.
Dylan Dingler.
You don't know the Dingler?
I did not know the Dingler.
You don't know the Dingler?
The Giants catcher is Bailey,
yes,
correct?
Pat Bailey. Patrick Bailey went back to back.
Okay.
3 others went back to back with Gold Gloves this season, or last season and this season.
I can't even remember who else won them. I swear to God, I looked at this list. Max Fried won one. Was he a back-to-back?
No, he wasn't. Max Fried did win one, though, yes. Won the
I
National League
definitely...
pitcher. Or, sorry, the American League pitcher.
Yes, definitely. Nope. Nope.
All 3 of these guys were outfielders.
They were all outfielders.
Each one made the playoffs.
Stephen Kwan was
Stephen
one.
Kwan.
Stephen Kwan was
he's actually
one.
won 4 in a row, I think.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Good for him. I don't know. All right, I got to name all of the outfielders on all of the playoff teams. That's never going to happen. Were any of them a Blue Jay?
Nope.
Were any of them a Yankee?
Nope.
Were any of them a Red Sox?
Oh?
Raffaella?
No. He's a good defensive player. He might have been more. He would have fallen more into utility. He did win one, but not back to back.
Oh,
so Raffaella
okay.
did win the center
right.
field goal.
Well, I feel pretty good about that.
No, but not the question.
Shut up. I don't even know.
Yeah, who else plays outfield?
Who else plays outfield for the Red Sox? Honestly, who throws a shoe? I don't know. Who is it?
Well, it's not Duran.
Oh, right. I was gonna guess. No, I wasn't.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, Abreu.
Wilyer
Abreu.
Abreu is going back to back in
Okay.
right field.
Okay.
And then a National Leaguer has also
All
went back to
right.
back in the outfield.
Is it a Philly?
No.
Is it a Padre?
No.
Is it a Dodger?
No.
Is it a? This is something. A Cub.
It is a Cub. Yeah.
It's a Cub who plays in the outfield.
He does.
It's that must mean it's. I don't know that I remember.
A single one?
I mean, is it PCA?
No, it is not PCA. He did win. He did win.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Yeah. Although to much discourse, people weren't happy that they didn't like he made like some pretty flashy plays.
Okay.
But then they were kind of pulling out a lot of really, really ugly plays.
Is
that
Ian
beat
Happ
Pro.
still in?
Ian Happ.
Is he still
went back to back?
I didn't even know
He's
he was.
also. This is his 4th Gold Glove.
I didn't know he was still a Cub. I got to be honest with you.
Well, he most definitely is a Cub.
I believe you.
Left field played.
How about that?
Left field for the Cubbies. And,
How about that?
And I think we're about like 6/20ths of the way through.
Rhonda Parker. That's who I was thinking of.
First baseman in the American League. Any chance?
What team?
He played for the Twins and was traded to the Blue Jays.
Played for the Twins and was traded to the Blue Jays.
I know, it's not going to help.
How do I not know who it is?
It's not Vlad, definitely.
Definitely not Vlad. He was played for the Twins and I don't know.
Ty France.
I did not. Ty France was traded to the Blue Jays?
Yeah. Remember he got in that bad. Why did he get in that bad in the World Series?
I don't even remember him getting it bad in the World Series.
He got in that bad. It must have been in the 18-inning game. And
all right. I believe you.
Why did he get in that bad? Because Springer. I think he came in after Springer got.
Oh,
the oblique
okay.
thing.
All right.
Second baseman from an American League West team.
No, we're not doing a 3 hours.
He's a Ranger.
Oh, Simeon.
We're not even 2 hours yet.
Simeon.
Yes, Marcus Simeon, third baseman from the Royals.
No, I know this, right? This is one I would know. It's Garcia.
Michael Garcia.
It's Garcia.
Yes. We got Bobby Witt at shortstop, Stephen Kwan in left field, Rafaela center, Abreu right field, and then the utility man for the American League.
Yeah, I'm so sure.
Houston Astros.
Jorge Mateo.
Not Mateo.
I don't know who the utility man is for the Astros. Come on. It's not Pena.
No.
I don't know.
Mauricio Dubon, of
Sure,
course.
Sure. I mean, I know he's a person.
Pitcher in the National League was battery made of Pat Bailey.
Webb?
Yes, Logan Webb.
Okay.
Webb. First base.
It's the only pitcher for the Giants I could name.
First base you should be able to get for the National League.
First base I should be able to get. It's a famous first baseman in the National League. Goldschmidt.
Not Goldschmidt.
He's not in the National League
No, he's not
anymore. He's with the
Would not
Yankees.
qualify.
Oh, Matt Olson.
Matt Olson.
Matt
Yes,
Olson.
he did. He
All
won
right.
Gold Glove with the Braves. I don't know who won it. Who would have won it last? Maybe Goldie did win it. I don't know who would have won it last year. That he didn't go back to back. Second baseman for the Cubs.
Oh, Horner.
Yes, Nico Horner. Third baseman. He was traded from the Pirates to the Reds.
Feel like I should know this.
Probably, I guess.
Is that Ke'Bryan Hayes?
Ke'Bryan,
I
yes.
did not know that he was traded to the Reds. I did not know that.
Yeah, well, he was.
Okay, I believe you. I'm not questioning your knowledge.
Cardinals shortstop.
Nope.
Mason Wynn.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
Happ played left field. PCA was the center fielder. Right field in the National League.
You going to give me anything else?
No, he's a good player.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
He's a good player then.
Yeah.
Is
Did
it
make the playoffs.
Is it a Dodger?
No.
Is it a Padre?
Padre.
Tatis.
Fernando Tatis.
Okay.
And then the utility man, of course, who you definitely still remember.
Yeah.
The first guy we
With
named.
my life on the line. Samardzija.
Close. Jeff Samardzija did not qualify for.
I thought he was his year.
Javier Sanoja.
Sanoja.
From the Marlins.
Sure. I think I ordered one of those at the
when he went to
the coffee truck that they had at the radio station this morning.
Extra.
Nobody there knows that I don't
Extra
drink.
whipped cream.
Nobody knows that I don't drink coffee, right? So like everybody wakes up at 3 a.m. They're all like, "Let's go get our coffee," and I was like, "I'll wander down." They had some hot cider, so I enjoyed a hot cider. It was very nice. I enjoyed it a great deal.
I'm glad you did.
I was gonna get something for you, but I don't like you.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the tough part.
I mean, at least I guess it goes both ways. So
right, it's important that there be consistency. That's what people ask for. Here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise. It's brought to you by Project Game Day, which returns this Sunday following Ravens-Vikings. PressBoxOnline.com/Game Day. All brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, Live Casino and Hotel, and the Costas Inn. Come hang out with myself, Rita, KZ, Stetka, Griffin, and former Ravens linebacker Tyus Bowser this Sunday after Ravens-Vikings. Tonight in Annapolis, very cool. Wish that I could be there. 5:30, the UConn women taking on Louisville in Annapolis because it was supposed to be overseas. It's the Armed Forces Classic, and for some reason the government shut down. They couldn't play at the base that they were going to play at. I think in France, I think is where it was supposed to be. So they had to move it, and they wanted to put it at Service Academy. Navy's a great place for hosting big events. They got the Veterans Classic this week, so they said, by all means, come on and play it here. So that's tonight. Although I was informed that Navy's also depleted staff-wise because of the shutdown. So, but they're getting it done. They're getting it done. They're making it happen. That's what they do there. 5:30 tonight. It's also on ESPN, the Louisville and UConn women. A good one, Texas and Duke at 8:45 on the men's side from Charlotte tonight on ESPN. Yeah. ESPN Plus, UMBC plays their opener at 6 against Penn State York, and then their soccer team, who's also been good this season, they're headed to the postseason, wraps up the regular season by traveling to NJIT on ESPN Plus. Loyola wraps up the season soccer-wise at Bucknell on ESPN Plus. Mount St. Mary's basketball opener is a battle of the Mountaineers as they travel to West Virginia. I think the Mountaineers have a chance.
I think it's going to be the Mountaineers, actually.
I think the Mountaineers have a shot in this one. That's at 7 o'clock on ESPN+. Everything else you can find at glennclarkradio.com. Non-sports, anything that jumps out?
Of course, Hulu. We all know All's Fair series premiere.
Sure. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the one. Kim Kardashian is making her actorial debut.
This is the one I've been waiting for.
Along with Naomi Watts and
Yes.
Tiana Taylor, among Glenn Close is in it. Female divorce attorneys leave a male-dominated firm to open their own
Hell
powerhouse
yeah, they
practice.
do. Hell yeah.
Starring Kim K.
Is that it?
Tim Robinson and Stavros will both be on Seth Meyers tonight.
I like their work. Yeah. I enjoy their work. Thanks today to
Julius Randle and Rami Malek on Fallon.
You're supposed to do that bit when we do.
Well, there's actually a lot of good ones tonight. So.
Did you say
Julius Randle.
Are they just giving up? Do they not? Does late night not bother to book guests anymore?
What do you mean? Julius Randle's a big star.
No, he's not. He's not even a big basketball star.
He's not on the Knicks anymore, is he?
Like, what is that?
Why would he be on? Is he like?
What the hell?
He must have came on with Fallon or something when
they
he
are
was with
just
the Knicks.
giving up, dog.
And then he was like, I like.
You know what? I
Are they
take it
like-
back. The president's right. They should cancel late night. Take it all back.
How dare you?
Take it all back.
You're gonna be next.
I might be. Might very well be. All right. Thanks today to Brandon Chatman from Navy. Thanks to Bo Smolka, to Joe Serpico. Thanks as well to Maryland soccer coach Sasho Cirovski. We'll get all that up in the greatest hits section of the
Michelle Obama, Robert Plant on Colbert.
tab at glennclarkradio.com. They're announcing a tour.
Are they?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Tomorrow, anything?
Pat Ricardis.
Oh, yeah. Love Project Pat.
Yeah.
Excited about that.
Andrew.
Good to have him back on the field. Two guests I'm equally excited about. Love them both. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, Game Day Men's Health, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com, the Costa Sin, Nick's Fish House, High's Dairy Stores, and more. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. Go UMBC. Duke sucks.